I'm Mark James. Welcome to BGTV's City Hall Show with Mayor Dennis Buckley. We are taking this opportunity to bring the mayor in, have a visit, kind of let people know now that spring has sprung and we're headed towards summer. School's almost out. We want to talk a little bit about some of the things going on in the city. Activity always picks up in the summertime. And again, we're happy to have with us the mayor of the city of Beech Grove, Dennis Buckley. Mayor, first of all, welcome. Thanks for being back.
It's good to be here.
Well, it's first things first. I know that we broached this subject before when we had you on, but almost from the time that the campaign started on the part of Beech Grove City Schools with the renewal of our referendum and the second question that was on the ballot, tremendous support came from your office, and that was followed up on Election Day by tremendous support from the city of Beech Grove.
Well, I supported it 4 years ago, and I publicly stated very early on that I would support it again. And it just all comes back to, if you want a good city, you have to have a good library and a good school system. And unfortunately, it costs a lot of money to run the school system. And even though I don't have any children that attend school here anymore, both of our children went completely through the school here, received a good education, and I want that to continue, so I have to pay my fair share. So I thought it would win, and it won, and I'm happy for the system, and it's time to make it better.
Are you proud of your citizens for that 70% approval on both of those questions? I mean, that speaks well for how they feel about not only the community, but the school system being an important part of that community.
Very happy with how the turnout was. Very happy with how the public responded. So it was a good day for the city, and it was a good day for the school system.
Well, as we mentioned, when the weather gets nice, activity picks up. Let's start first of all with some of the activity that involves the paving of streets and improvements in certain areas of the city. Let's start with that paving. Where do we stand?
Well, we have entered into an agreement with the company to reconstruct Bell Fountain from Emerson to halfway between 8th and 9th, so a little over a mile. And we're going to give them a notice to proceed on June the 8th. And once we do that, they have 45 days to complete the project. It's a pretty extensive project. They're going to take the whole road out and start over. That includes aprons to the alleys, and everywhere where the sidewalk touches Bell Fountain, that will be removed as well, and new handicap ramps put in. So it will be a significant improvement in that area, and if you've driven on Bell Fountain, you'll realize how bad that road really is. And putting a ½ inch of asphalt over the top of it isn't going to work.
Right.
You have to take it out, put in a new base, and then pave it, and then the road will last 10 to 15 years. So we're looking forward to that. Those of you who are familiar with our park system, and especially if you're involved in Little League, know that we've just wrapped up a paving project. We completely redid the parking lot. That was supposed to be done about 10 years ago, and the projected cost 10 years ago was $450,000. The project is almost complete. They did the final inspection today. The project came in about $315,000, so significantly less than about 10 years ago. But it's so much nicer now because you don't get stuck in the mud down there. Your vehicle doesn't get stuck. Your clothes don't get dirty. And when it rains, the water that hits the asphalt drains as we put storm drains in. So what a nice improvement for that area of the city. Another project that just got completed was a drainage project at the intersection of 9th and Buffalo. I think, Mark, it's the best project that we've done since I've been mayor. And we've done several really, really good projects. but this one was just outstanding. And the folks that live in that area know that the water, when it rained, the water would just pour down this drive, gravel drive, and it would wash it out all the time. So we went in and hired a company. They put in all new storm drains through there that catch all of that water now, cemented the drive that goes west of 9th Street, and then put in new drains at the intersection, and then repaved the intersection. And it is just simply beautiful. It works, and it's just really pretty to look at. So those are going on, and we're getting ready to design, the sewer engineers are designing another project for the sanitary sewer system throughout Beech Grove. And it'll probably be the largest sewer rehabilitation project that I've done since I've been mayor. And what we're going to do is we're going to separate some of the stormwater that gets into the sanitary sewer system, which it shouldn't. And then we're going to go in certain locations throughout the city and we're going to reline the sewer lines. And that will prevent the entry of tree roots and water from getting into the sanitary sewer. So
I've covered city government for years, and if I had a dime for every time the handling of stormwater was discussed, I think you and I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be on an island somewhere living very comfortably. Is it one of the biggest headaches dealing with it that cities face of this size, and either larger or smaller?
yes, stormwater drainage is a big problem. Now, 3 years ago, we didn't even have a utility to collect fees and to address stormwater issues. So we had to create the utility, and we had to create the revenue source to fix the problems. We've done that. Now we're starting to fix the problems. Yeah. So in the same way with the sanitary sewer system, we didn't have any money to fix the sewers if we wanted to. Now we do, and now we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, and it is we're rehabbing the sewer system. So it's nothing but good, and it's going to get better as time goes on.
Another important aspect of city government, moving forward, economic development. Update there.
Well, the project is on track behind the police department, the Beech Grove station. I'm in constant contact with Community Health Network as they want to obviously put a medical pavilion in somewhere on Emerson around the interstate. And then now they've approached me about leasing space for long-term usage for education of their employees, EMS updates for nurses and medical staff. So those are all good things that are going on in the city. And I want to pass on that at 3 p.m. on May the 27th in the council chambers, there'll be a presentation on the upgrade to the intersection of Churchman Avenue and Arlington. We are having substantial amount of redevelopment in that area and economic development. So over the next 5 years, we're going to have to change the traffic flow in that area. So we've put together a schematic of a roundabout, and this is part of what they call a complete street project for that area to accommodate the large number of trucks that are going to begin to start coming through that area as a result of new development. So that's next Thursday, the 27th or 28th of May at 3 p.m. at the City Hall in the council chamber. So that's really good news as well. I do want to go back before I complete the economic development. I want to talk about a couple of major projects that the city of Indianapolis is going to do for us. The city of Beech Grove has a very good relationship with the city of Indianapolis. And I met again yesterday with the Director of Public Works, Andy Lutz, for the city of Indianapolis. And he has been working closely with Frank Mascari. Frank Mascari is the city county councilor in District 20, which is most of Beech Grove and the area of Bethel and Southern. So what the city of Indianapolis is going to do during this paving season is they are going to repave Bethel Avenue from Emerson Northwest to Sherman Drive. And that is a result of more economic development that's going on in that area. ADM doubled the capacity of their mill.
Right.
So now that doubled the traffic. And it's had an impact on the road. So they're going to redo the road. And those of you who drive on Bethel Avenue understand what I'm saying. It's pretty bad, especially as you get closer to Sherman. And then Southern Avenue from Bethel west to Perkins, or 25th Street, is going to be redone as well. And that is a significant improvement in the city of Beech Grove for traffic control and drainage. And I got to tell you, Mark, if it wasn't for Frank Mascari, those two projects would not be getting done at all, period. Because the city of Beech Grove simply can't afford to do it.
Right.
So, but anyway, back to economic development.
And honestly, that's part of it.
Yes.
Those improvements are all part of economic.
Yes.
So,
I wanted to talk a little bit about the hospital because it just seems like it's stuck in the mud.
sure.
And over the past 3 years, we've just kind of sat back and watched the proceedings because the city of Beech Grove never was interested in owning it,
Right.
never interested in maintaining it or operating it. The only thing we were interested in was what's going to go in there. Well, grandiose idea after grandiose idea failed. So I meet again next week again with Kevin Leahy, who's up in Mishawaka, along with Bob Brody and Sister Jane Marie Klein. And she's the president of the executive board in Mishawaka. But I think we're going to approach it differently. I think I'm going to talk to him about what the city of Beech Grove can do to enhance the property and make it move faster. And you know, as we all know, and all you have to do is drive by to look at it, it's not getting any prettier. It's going down a little bit, and that affects the whole
Sure.
area of the city. So work continues on that, and maybe by the middle of June something will happen. I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, in terms of a property of that magnitude and that size, I don't know that there are entities out there looking for that much space as it currently exists. So options might be obviously demolition, which there's a cost associated with it, or if using the structure as it currently stands, maybe something along the lines of a multi-use facility where you had several entities interested in that property.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to talk to him about when I meet with him next week. But we're not alone in this. The old Methodist Hospital pretty soon is going to be in the same shape because IU Health is going to build a new facility. The hospital down in Bloomington is going to close. They're going to build a new facility there. So maybe the state and the county governments, maybe they ought to look at how they can reuse these big buildings, or if they should just knock them down.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard equation to deal with.
Yeah, but the only place that I in recent memory that I think where land reclamation has come into play is with the old Chrysler foundry near I-70 and Holt Road. I mean, once that foundry closed, within a year or so, the wrecking ball showed up there, and that's a flat piece of land. Now, nothing has landed on that property as of yet, but I'm sure it's much easier to market it now that it's been, cleaned up and reclaimed.
Yes.
And I know that moving forward, that cities and towns, when they offer tax abatements now, is it or is it not true that you're attaching certain stipulations to it that over the course of that abatement, there are some penalties for businesses if they're given abatements that would eventually pull out.
Yes.
Yes. That's a very strong negotiating tool,
Yes.
and it's a nice insurance policy.
It is.
For cities like
It
Beech
is.
Grove. So one of the reasons we wanted you here, and we'll be talking more about this over the next 10 minutes or so, the city of Beech Grove has undertaken efforts to improve waste management and recycling.
Yes, it's an initiative that, if you remember, we talked about this 2 years ago. This program that our friend's going to talk about today was developed by 8th grade students at Beech Grove Middle School. They're the ones who came up with this idea. It wasn't me. I happened to wander in that class and sat and listened to them, and they convinced me that we should be recycling. So they developed the criteria. They designed the emblem and all of those things, and now the council approved it, and here later on this year we're going to be providing curbside recycling to you. So I'm very happy about it. It includes all municipal buildings, parks and recreations, the Little League and the softball diamonds, and then single and double family dwellings. All of those properties will be offered recycling. And it's really pretty simple, and it's not going to cost the consumer anything. The city's going to pick the bill up, which I think is another incentive to do it.
Yeah, and from a cost standpoint, it's extremely cost effective when combined with the other city services in terms of what it's going to cost the taxpayer.
Yes, the city is moving up, and we're going to be in a position pretty soon where we're not only competing with our neighbors, but we're going to go up higher a little bit, and that's where we need to be. So I'm happy about it, excited to see it implemented, and looking forward to working through it.
Well, we'll have some folks from Rays on with us in just a moment, but before we let you go, police, fire department, everybody in good shape there, ready for the long, hot summer, if you will?
Yes, there is a program that the fire department is doing, and what they have done, they have purchased AEDs, automatic external defibrillators, and now when they get them installed and everybody trained, they will be in all of the municipal buildings, will be at the Little League Diamonds and at the softball diamonds, and once those seasons are over, we'll move them around to where they'll be placed wherever there's athletic events going on through our city. So I just think that is a wonderful, wonderful thing that they've done. And hopefully they're not used, but if they are, then we have given somebody a chance to live.
Sure.
And so I'm very happy about that. And we are working with Citizens Energy Group. I was given a notice yesterday that they're going to give our fire department at least 50 smoke detectors to install in our city. So that is a very kind gesture on their part as well. And when all of that gets worked out, then we'll figure out how we get the word out to tell the citizens that they can receive a new smoke detector. So very good stuff.
Well, congratulations on the first part of the year. Everything's gone, I think, very, very well. We made it through winter relatively unscathed, and a lot of activity on tap this summer. And when school resumes in August, we'll have you back, kind of recap the summer, and then we'll start talking about all of the projects that we'll have in the offing in the fall.
Very good. It was a pleasure to be here, Mark.
Dennis Buckley is the mayor of the city of Beech Grove. We'll talk more about the city's new recycling initiative when we come back. Well, flowers aren't the only thing you're going to see popping up around the city of Beech Grove this spring and summer. These are the totes that are part of the city's new recycling initiative, and the residents of the city of Beech Grove will get to know these plenty well, I'm sure, over the days and weeks and months and years to come. We're happy to have with us Calvin Davidson from Ray's Trash Service. And Calvin, first of all, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having us. Pleasure to be here.
So let's get into the nuts and bolts of it right away. Explain this new recycling initiative, what all that entails here for the residents of Beech Grove.
Well, thanks. And thanks to the City of Beech Grove. It's a pleasure for Ray's Trash Service to be a part of that. We're very excited for the city. We've worked with other communities when it's an upstart program. So there's a lot of questions, a lot of ideas, and we're going to try to put it out there and answer as many of those questions as we can through forums like this, through the website, providing some mailing information. So be on the lookout for anything that says recycling. We're not trying to sell you something. It's something that you're going to get free of charge from the city. We're going to try to make the program a great success.
Well, I mean, let's face it, and this is no knock against the city of Beech Grove because a lot of cities are in the same boat. We're vastly behind in terms of probably where we should be as a state overall in terms of recycling. Would you agree or disagree?
Oh, I grew up in Indianapolis, so I'm not going to bash the Midwest.
Right, I understand.
But the Midwest does tend to lag a bit in some of the environmental matters.
Let's just burn it, right? We don't think, well, let's just burn it.
It's been done in many ravines for many years,
right,
and we're trying to get away from that. But it says a lot about the type of people that live in the community, too, because we're providing recycling. When people want to care about the community and they want to recycle, it shows the interest they have in the community that they live in.
Naysayers say recycling's not cost effective. You can't make any money doing that. Can you dispel that myth at all?
Well, it's a pay me now or pay me later kind of proposition. Mm-hmm. If you don't take a little interest in conservation today, you'll pay for it later.
Sure.
We will run out of disposal facilities and disposal places. Landfills and incinerators aren't particularly as pretty as the flowers and the renew and reuse and you know, that's a different approach. It's a different mindset. So I think if we don't pay for it a little bit now today, it'll cost more later.
What can people expect from this experience? What might change from the way it was before?
Well, instead of having one cart to place your trash in, the cart that you showed everyone earlier has a black lid. The cart that we're going to provide has a yellow lid. So the key difference right off the bat is to look for the yellow lid and make sure that we only put the recyclable items in the yellow lidded container. And we just want those loose in there, no bags, and we'll go over some of the items of what can and can't be included in the program. But that's the main thing that you should look for and how it could change.
Let's give a thumbnail sketch in terms of what ideally you want to see in those recycling bins.
We would like to see everything, again, loose, so just pile it in there. When you finish drinking your soda, it's okay to throw it in there. Cardboard, magazines, newspaper, junk mail, anything that's fiber, other than the toilet paper, paper towels, we don't want things like that. But newspapers, magazines, cardboard is something that we all encounter in our homes today, and it's difficult to deal with. We do want you to break the cardboard down, try to flatten that out so that you can get as much as possible in the cart. On the container side or the container list, bottles, cans, so soup cans, food cans, everything you can imagine out of the kitchen, out of the home. We do want it empty. You don't have to wash it clean in the dishwasher, but we do want them empty. We don't want residual food waste. So 2-liter bottles, milk cartons, laundry detergent, soap bottles, shampoo bottles, things like that. The grocery bags are another one. We want them loose in there as well. Aluminum foil, including pie plates, the chafing dish from if you're having a party or something like that. Anything aluminum like that is very acceptable in the program too.
Now, I live in I'll say a West Side community. I won't name it. Don't want to raise the ire of anybody here at Beech Grove, but the schedule there, trash pickup is on Thursday for us. Every other Thursday is the recycling container. Every Thursday is just the regular trash container. Is that similar to what folks will see here in Beech Grove? Yes,
you'll see the same type of every other week recycling, every week trash, and you should check the city's website for that schedule and which week is. We typically call it the on week or the off week, but for simplicity, you can always refer back to the city calendar to determine which week it is.
One of the things I saw in the local paper on that side of town, some concern expressed by the son of an elderly woman who didn't like the idea that his 80-year-old mother was having to haul that tote, the 12, 15 feet, whatever. And it's a legitimate concern. I don't mean to mock it. No. So if they have a smaller container on wheels, is that something they can set out curbside, or are they required to use the ones that are provided by you?
We do want them to try to use the cart that's provided.
Right.
We also get a lot of requests about it's too big. I don't have that much. And we encourage people to try it. give it a try. If it's not safe to wheel it to the end of the driveway, see if you can get a neighbor kid or somebody to help you with that.
Sure.
If all else fails, yes, we can make some special exceptions. But one of the reasons we encourage people to try the cart that's provided is because when you really try to include all the items that can be included, you need the large cart. Mm-hmm. We all have a lot more recyclables than we do trash, and the cart helps.
Well, and automated lift systems are coming in vogue too, and
right.
Are they designed specifically for that size cart?
They are, and that's why it's more difficult to use something smaller or something different, because the automated arm on the truck, much the same as what you've seen in other communities where it kind of like a big slinky out there and back. So
sure.
It's harder for the driver. He can't get out and grab just a little bag and throw it up over the top of the truck as easy.
Now, the trash pickup, for years, people are used to setting about anything and everything out of the curb. So other than just the recycling and the regular trash pickup, how are we addressing yard waste or quote-unquote heavy trash pickup?
You know, the heavy trash and yard waste, as far as I know, are still going to be handled by the City Public Works Department.
Okay.
So no changes that I'm aware of in that regard.
So the City of Beech Grove website, Mayor Buckley still in the studio, city website would be the best place to get that information? Okay. Yeah, if you just go to the City of Beech Grove website. And speaking of that, going to your website, as you suggest, could answer all those problems too.
We could, and I think we're going to have a reciprocal link back and forth so that you can get to our website, but we're going to supply the same information to the city as far as what types of items, like we discussed a second ago, that can be included. But if you have other interest and needs, or if you need to, other trash needs, I guess you could contact us for something outside the scope of the program. Another item that I didn't mention that's included in the curbside service is the milk cartons, the paper milk cartons.
Okay.
That's something that's we get a lot of questions about, but it's a neat item. We're proud to offer that to the community. The old paper milk carton that kind of has that gable top.
Right.
It can also be the flat top box.
Okay.
So juice boxes, soup broth boxes like that are also the aseptic packaging can also be included. So there's a lot of items. We just encourage people to go to the list, check it out. Anything metal, pots and pans are also included. Toss them all in there. One question that I know I'll get, if you don't ask me, I know I'll get it soon, is styrofoam. Everyone wants to know if we can accept styrofoam, and unfortunately there are just not enough homes to recycle the styrofoam to, and not all styrofoam's made the same way. So
right.
At this time it's not acceptable.
So the separation of all of those items that you said, that's pretty elaborate process, I would imagine, once it leaves the City of Beech Grove and heads to your facility.
Right. We just built a new facility this spring, or finished it over the winter and started operating it this spring. Over 50 different conveyors, automated separation equipment, eddy currents, near infrared optical sorters that can determine the different type of plastics, and then pneumatically discharge the 2-liter bottles from the milk jugs. It's really fascinating to watch it work.
A gentleman passed away recently, not too far from the home of Ray's Trash Service out in Plainfield, Byron Green, that ran Greendale Farms for years.
I knew Byron.
Byron made a fortune, and he said all of a sudden it just occurred to him one day, there's a way to make money out of stuff that people don't want anymore, and God rest his soul, he sure did, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Byron was a wonderful man.
So let's talk about your company. As we mentioned, Greendale Farms, Mulch and Mix Company, was founded in Indiana, is a $1 million company all over the Midwest, one of the largest in the Midwest. People should feel good at the fact that the City of Beech Grove is doing business with an Indiana company. And I don't want to suggest that it's necessarily a rags to riches story. I guess more appropriate would be that a family got together and worked their way up and has built a tremendous operation here in Central Indiana.
Well, thanks. We're pleased that the city chose local. We're pleased to do business locally.
Sure.
Ray and his wife Barbara started the company back in 1965. It's truly just a genuine, good old-fashioned Hoosier story. They started around the kitchen table. Dad needed some extra income, so he started doing something on the side. And the children were involved at early age, and it's developed into something today that employs nearly 600 people.
And continues to grow.
Well, I hope so.
Well, congratulations. Thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Web address if people have any questions.
www.raisetrash.com.
And, of course, the City of Beech Grove website. Again, you get all those questions answered. Thanks to both of our guests today. And, again, we'll have Mayor Buckley back in the fall to discuss all the progress that was made the items we discussed in the summertime, and of course, we'll get ready for the fall and that nasty old winter that'll be here before we know it. But until then, enjoy the summer. I'm Mark James. Thanks for joining us.